amazing to be able to look here to the north and see the bombing in Syria and say, wow, we've been fighting for 431 days, and we've been in Gaza, every part of Gaza. We've been in Lebanon, all throughout that border area, and now Syria. I wasn't in Syria yet, but it's just we're fighting on multiple fronts, and now we're seeing the planes go over all the time, hitting into Dara. What are we hitting? Well, I want to tell you, we're hitting the depots of Assad's forces, striking where these rebels. Now we look at things in the West like good guys, bad guys, but you got to know you can't trust these rebels. You can't trust Tahrir. You can't trust Jalani. You can't trust their people, because I'm telling you what, jihadist extremist groups do like jihadist extremist groups do. Our defense minister, Israel Katz, he says a statement. He said, we got to make sure to buffer our security zones, make them stronger, deploy troops across the key border zones, finalize deployments in the Alpha and the Bravo 1974 lines from 1974. You know, back in the day in 1974, which was after the Yom Kippur War, and we didn't die, even though they tried to kill us, we had a tiny sliver of Mount Hermon. Now we have the whole mountain. It's unbelievable. We have a bigger chunk of the mountain. And to be able to go in and put this buffer zone, a sterile buffer zone, taking out the enemy infrastructure means you got to blow stuff up. Some of it's from the air, some of it's not. Prevent weapon smuggling. These are the things that we're working on as the army. Eliminate the strategic weapon threats, neutralize leftover strategic weapons from the Assad regime. I mean, they're getting helicopters, they're getting tanks, they have so much, these people, and I frankly just don't trust them. I mean, they're pretty much ISIS. Jabhat al-Nusra, it's all the same thing, but hopefully they won't be able to come right up onto us, not to come up onto the Golan Heights. Hopefully they'll be able to be pushed back. We've taken Quneitra. And so CENTCOM, United States Central Command Forces, carried out a bunch of precision airstrikes as well. Okay, and they were trying to really make sure that the buildup of weapons, because, they spoke and they said that. I'll read it in a second where they said it. Over 75 targets were struck using advanced U.S. Air Force assets like B-52s, F-15s, A-10s, and so you see that no civilian casualties happened, which I'm really, really glad for. And so U.S. officials warned that the Assad regime's collapse could also affect Iran. Now, Iran might try to say, no, we have to have a nuclear weapon and we have to rush for the bomb. We have to do it now to maintain our dominance over the region. We don't want that, because we know where that nuclear weapon is headed. And so it feels like they're in crisis mode, if you ask me. It feels like they are the same revolution that happened in Syria could happen in Iran. I mean, there's a lot of distaste for dictators happening right now. And this is not like the Arab Spring. Nothing much happened there. There was a lot of hype. This is the real Arab Spring. It could be. The net worth of the Assad family that fell, estimates is like around $2 billion. They have accumulated so much wealth, hurting the people. This whole dictator era has to end. It does. And they have all these cars, all these fancy cars and private homes all over the world, villas, real estate investments, telecommunication investments, finance, real estate, all kinds of stuff. And they've been hurting their people so much. And the same is true for Iran. Same is true for all the Islamo-fascist, anti-Israel, neo-Nazi anarchists, But we're seeing it change. And we're seeing that the U.S. is going to be ready to put some serious sanctions on them. So this isn't just a rapid offense of rebel forces. This is a shift in the entire Middle East. Now, he fled to Russia, of course, because he knows where his bread is buttered, right? And they're living their new life there in exile. And but what I'm saying also is Hamas itself is now providing a list. They gave a list of a bunch of hostages, including 4 American hostages, that they're willing to exchange. And so there could really be a deal, prisoner swap deal could very well happen. It pains me to tell you that, there I was in the south. We're planning on this big mission in Gaza, and I didn't go on the mission in the end, and 3 soldiers fell in battle in Gaza. Staff Sergeant Ido Zano, Staff Sergeant Barak, Daniel Halperin, Sergeant Omri Cohen. They died in northern Gaza. And I'm just saying, wow, God has really been watching over me. But I feel so sad when when this stuff happens. And at the same time, we got Yemen is still shooting Tel Aviv. Shot a drone right into Tel Aviv, into Yavne, that is, Yavne. No injuries were reported, but I mean, this is bad that they're still doing this. Don't they take a hint? Can't they stop their incessant terror? No, they're driven by a dark theology. Do you think that Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the Syrian rebel that just took over the country, I think that his words really ring true, because you know what he says? He says, we entered the great Umayyad mosque in Damascus. We're going to enter the Al-Aqsa mosque in Jerusalem. You know, where our temple used to stand, you know, the holiest place where the Western Wall is. Holiest place to Jewish people that pray every day, 3 times a day. And we're going to enter the Kaaba in Mecca, he says. You got to listen to what people say. What they say is what they mean. And it's like a new face for Al-Qaeda. It feels like we can't really trust them. So this area is going to be a good buffer zone, and I want to tell you about this buffer zone. You know, it used to be a home of giants, land of giants, Bashan. Deuteronomy 4, verse 47 and 48, I'd like to read it, is they possessed his land, the land of Og of Bashan. That's Bashan, by the way, right there. 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side of Jordan towards the rising of the sun, from Aror, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto Mount Sion. Not Zion, but Sion, which is Mount Hermon. That is our land. That is our buffer zone.
Shalom again. Today, I have the honor to introduce you to a good friend of the show, a brave soldier of the IDF, and a man behind the vision of Aliyah Return Center, Chaim Malespin. Chaim, take it away.
Shalom friends, my name is Chaim Malespin. I'm a Sergeant Major with the Combat Engineer Corps, serving to defend the defenseless, and I've seen firsthand the courage it takes to protect Israel for well over a year. And as the Aliyah Return Center charity here in the north, we're able to help provide not only food, clothing, shelter, basic needs, but really, there are so many that are struggling even emotionally. Will you help us help them and bless Israel today?
Thank you, Chaim. And guys, if you can contribute to Chaim's non-profit organization to help Jewish new immigrants establish roots in the land of Israel, please go to www.aliyahreturncenter.com and make your contribution. God bless you, and God bless Israel.